And we are live.
I like lying and saying I'm ready because it's funny because I'm not actually ready. We are live with Ultra Podcast Z, everyone. Hey, everyone. I am Manuel, and I am a filthy liar.
Not as much of a filthy liar as that blonde bitch that was talking from the White House. She's the biggest liar in this damn country. Second only to Trump, but I mean, she was serving up so much bullshit. I was honestly like, damn.
Okay, I was going to go completely different angle and say he's not that filthy because he apparently just took a shower. But
yeah, I just
go off, Josh.
It's actually funny because
sorry, I had listening to that. I was like, she was lying about everything. When she lied about California, I'm like, oh, do you know what she was saying about California?
What?
Something about turning the water on, I'm going to assume.
We turned the water on, yeah. I was like, oh my lord, she is licking the boots so hard.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Josh,
no, hold on.
Manuel, do your intro, please.
So today, hold on. So today they had the whole kind of scare. I think a judge stopped it like an hour ago, but they had that kind of scare about the funding, being cut to all the grants, the federal grants and everything like that. All for everything. So anyway, but did you see what the statement said about why he was doing that?
Oh, it's just because I was like, I hate queer people.
Yes. Okay,
it's pretty much that.
No, it sounds like Josh is joking, but
I'm not joking. I heard that. I've been on the news all day. That's the best way I can highlight it. He wants to
I could not believe that he said that. Okay, it literally says Marxist something, and it says transgenderism is the next thing, and I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, he had no good reason
to just say it. Blows my mind.
Okay.
Blows my fucking mind.
He's a monster.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you on all that. But can we introduce the show?
Hey everyone, I'm not I'm a different kind of monster. I'm a different kind of monster. I should put my new tagline. I'm a different kind of monster. My name's Manuel.
Manuel, you're not a boyfriend in an Otome game.
Oh, we're done with the best of them.
And I might be a Marxist photographer named Fotaku Network. So there we go.
Oh my god. Oh, we're just leading into this. I love it. But yeah, it's Ultra Podcast Z. There's a lot of nonsense going on in all sorts of places. I don't even know what the topic is, so we're gonna kind of wing it a bit.
I just want to finish off. I want to finish off my statement because I know I came in hot with that. As much as Manuel wants to have you believe that as a masked person that you shouldn't trust, that he is a bigger liar. But I'm sorry. Just today, the sheer audacity of what was going on online. It was enough that I had to look up just to be sure about what would be cut or isn't cut. I have to call my military friend who supposedly is getting $4,000 a month because of a surgery that the DA forgot. The VA. Is it the DA? No, it's the DA, right?
You're right.
Yeah, they forgot to fill out his paperwork correctly, and he was stuck with that for months on end. So they actually had to put him in a position where they were able to give him $4,000 a month. He was like, "I'm retiring. I'm quitting you, Amazon." And now I'm just personally is he still okay? I know that they just blocked it because of of course it's absurd, but for real, this administration is just popping off, and what you said earlier, Manuel, for real, you're supposed to have a good reason to fire someone or even see if there's a way of cutting off the funding if it was really an issue, especially because that's funding that's approved by Congress, a budget that's handled by a different legislative power. And this guy is just full on being dictator past day one. If we remember correctly, we were all come on, guys. He even said, even if it's for a day, he said he's going to be dictator day one. It has been not even 2 weeks yet, and he is already making every sensible person go insane. But anyway, we're here so that we can restore some sense to people, and yes. I think that has to do with certain part 2 that was also announced, a better part 2, hopefully a better part 2. What can you tell us what that part 2 is?
Oh, the Switch 2? The part 2 to the Switch?
Yeah, the part 2 to the Switch.
Okay, I didn't know if he's talking that or Wicked for Good.
Yeah, I didn't know what you said. We didn't actually rehearse that little bit there, so I was like, is he actually leading into the Switch? You're talking about something else? Because the Switch 2 is coming
still waiting
out.
for cheap gas, apparently, also.
Oh yeah, we're waiting for cheap gas and waiting for egg prices. How did we get so many viewers? It did like everyone like. I'm not complaining, but what just happened there? But yeah, we need cheap eggs. It's funny because like I was complaining. I don't know what podcast. Oh, it was on Dream Talk Roll. I was complaining on Dream Talk Roll like about 2 weeks ago that I went to Walmart and the egg. First of all, this is the Walmart prices, so this isn't even like
Walmart
like quote
prices.
unquote normal market prices. And the Walmart brand, the Great Value eggs were $10 a dozen. And
Damn,
yesterday, yeah, no, it
$10?
gets worse. It gets worse. Yesterday, I went to
Holy cow!
Food for Less, like another cheaper market, like not an Albertsons, not a Ralph's, a cheaper market. Uh, and I was at Food for Less, and their dozen eggs were $13.
What the shit?
And I'm
I'm
like,
sorry. I'm sorry. I don't.
that's more than $1 an egg.
I'm not sorry. I take back what I'm saying. That is absurd. And I just want to point out that as much as the current like US Nazi legislation is like so concerned with being Nazis, I like how when they said we'll take down the price of eggs. I'm sorry. Neither JD Vance nor Trump tienen los huevos to take those prices down. They're afraid to even enact that. They could just apparently go pen to paper on television, and they are more afraid of doing that than I don't know. I don't know who's afraid of something. Whoever's afraid of chills. Who's ever
Okay.
like more afraid of a chills video?
No,
Okay.
last thing on that, yeah, yesterday in the morning before I went to Food for Less, I'd
Yeah.
eaten McDonald's breakfast for the first time in a while, and like I got like a normal like breakfast, whatever the fuck they call the breakfast platter. But like I hate those folded eggs, so I asked for like the round ones, and they give you two of them when you get that. So you get two fucking round eggs in your fucking pancakes or whatever. So I had two eggs there, and then I had like points. I got myself a McMuffin for like later on. I had three eggs, and I was thinking about this the whole rest of the day. Like, man, I'm fucking eating
I think I know where
rich.
you're going with this. I think I know.
I'm fucking
Sorry, I cut it off. My bad.
Yeah, I'm eating rich today. It's like, man, if I would have known, I would have bought more fucking muffins while the going was good. Fun fact, in case you're wondering, I'm sure McDonald's will spin this some other way and raise a ton of money. But raise their prices a ton of money. But one of the ways McDonald's and some other restaurants, but McDonald's especially, is able to like weather this nonsense is because they control the entire chain of supply to the restaurants. So they technically can not withstand. That's the wrong word. They
Weather.
could weather. They can weather most temporary price hikes because they just set their own prices. So like they could be like, yeah, I guess our farmers still gonna charge us $5 or whatever they charge, like $5 for 5 dozen or whatever the hell. It's like 'cause they
Whatever
don't
the
they
hell.
don't got it any better. Like we own them. Anyways, I don't know. Let's move on. Eggs. I loved eggs before, and now I'm just like, I'm never gonna get to eat eggs ever again, am I? I
No,
just
no, we're
hate it.
not. At this point, it's so expensive. As you were leading into it, you might as well go and grab that 2 for $6 deal, California.
Yeah.
If you're like wanting to get the what's it called? Egg McMuffins with probably something else. It's genuinely absurd. Either that or this is probably where we all start our vegan arc, not because of like, we're doing this because we're gonna get more leftist. No, we're doing this because we're being priced out of the normal protein. Now we have to get creative with this stuff. We're gonna throw a bunch of peanut butter on things. My girlfriend's gonna get excited, but she is allergic to peanut butter. I have no clue why this is a thing that's going down. But like for real, this is just like
Fun fact.
look what they're doing to us.
Fun
Look
fact.
what the Trump administration is doing to everybody.
I, I don't talk about this very often, but like under my desk, I have like alcohol and some snacks, like my emergency stash under my desk.
I just assumed you had something on the task manual.
And under the desk, I have in my snack pile, I have a jar of peanut butter. Right?
Peanut
So,
butter.
so this
He
is
pulled out
like a
crunchy. Oh
Kroger brand peanut butter, which is right under my desk. Don't you like how I grabbed it in the dark too? Like I knew
He just
exactly where it
pulled out
was.
peanut butter.
So
He's
I have like
prepared. He's like, yeah,
Do you
no.
not have a
It's
kitchen
okay.
manual?
Realize everyone wants to hate on like freaking Sleepy Joe making the economy bad. Trump in less than 2 weeks made the economy so bad already.
Okay,
Looks
okay.
like going back.
okay. peanut
Switch
butter.
2, please.
Okay. Switch 2's coming out. Thankfully, okay. We don't know if this is all true yet, but like the pricing on it apparently is going to be $3.99, which I hope to God is the pricing. Because I
$3.99.
could. I don't think I can. I can't really afford that right now, but I do have almost that much in Amazon credits. So as long as Amazon, because Amazon and Nintendo have a weird relationship, but like as long as there's a window where like they're selling the Switch on there, I'm like, oh God, I could get it. Like maybe not day one because there'll probably be some bullshit like always for every console, but I'm excited. It has back. Okay, first of all, it's just the Switch 2, which everyone's complaining about, but I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't get it. I don't get what the complaint is. Like, oh, it's the same thing, and I'm like, first of all, almost every console is just the same thing when it becomes the 2. I guess everyone expects Nintendo to do something wacky. It's like, now it can like fly you to like Nintendo headquarters or something,
Well, I'm still waiting to see if the Joy-Con mouse mode is going to be a thing. That was definitely in the rumors, and it seemed to be hinted at in the video.
Like you do this, like you use it like a mouse.
Yeah, it has like an optical sensor.
Couldn't I just connect a mouse and keyboard to the Switch then, if I really wanted to?
For the record, you already can.
I failed to see the part 2-ness of this.
Yeah, it has very little like use, but it has to do with like I guess if you're like signing up, like if you're using a forum or something like that, in the limited like, especially I think they've since patched it, but there was a way to get on the internet through the Switch because they had to have a limited browser, and yes, mouse and keyboard functionality. Well, I'm sure the keyboard still is, but the mouse was functional on the Switch. It's like a USB mouse. Once again, why I don't know, but
You guys start talking about mouses, and now our cat's like getting close to the desk.
It's Mises. Have you not seen the Christmas Carol, the Muppet Christmas Carol? The Mises getting cheeses? I forget already. I just saw it the other day.
Mises pieces, Reese's pieces,
Mises
peanut butter.
cheeses.
Oh my
Easy.
gosh, more peanut butter? What are you
It's just going
talking
back to
about?
No, like if your girlfriend ever comes over here, she starts like acting crazy. I'm like, don't back away. I got my emergency peanut butter.
No, I'll encourage her. If she has me pulled out the emergency peanut butter, she'll just grab a slab and be like, "Oh yeah," and then we'll have to be like trying to take her away. It's like the different kind of like get back. We're pretty much gonna be a holding back to that situation.
Oh my God, this is crazy. But yeah, so Switch 2 is coming out. Like, controller looks what?
Flimsy.
It looks flimsy.
Because there's the little part sticking out of it for like the magnetic lock on. That may be a point of failure, but I think you have to like have it locked in first, so it's mitigated a bit.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Everyone claims that the ones that the current ones have like when they were coming out, like, oh, those clips are gonna like it's gonna break. And I have seen some people Switches where like their Joy-Cons don't lock in anymore, and I'm like, what did you do to them? Like
terrible things, awful things that
Yes.
cannot be repeated.
So I guess if you're rough with your Switch or whatever, and don't get me wrong, I think I'm pretty rough
Wow,
with
this
my
is getting
Switch.
even
Yeah, man, we don't need to hear about you getting rough with a Switch, okay?
Oh my God.
Like, oh yeah, what that SD card slot did. Anyway,
STD slot? What?
Oh, I was just gonna say he's putting the D in the SD slot.
no, but I'm worrying about like some things. Like actually, this SD slot thing is a very interesting worry to have. Like I remember reading somewhere that like most modern games can't really run off SD cards anymore. So I'm like, what will the Switch 2 support? Like,
there's an upgraded version of SD with faster speeds.
They can't do this to us.
Yes.
We have to move to Taiwan if we're going to be able to afford any of this extra stuff now that will use any particular type of proprietary chip or so. I'm hoping that even at $400, as expensive as it seems to buy yet another Switch, that like, I don't know, man, these prices are getting so high. These tariffs are going to be so terrible. Will I even be able to justify my playing of Smash Ultimate Turbo, like whenever that comes out?
And Mario Kart, like Donkey Kong looks weird edition, because like that's the whole new thing about
It's just going to be called Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 9.
Be called Mario Kart 8. and you're gonna give it like a French word. That's all they're
Well,
gonna
no,
do.
I don't think they're gonna call it 9 because Nintendo has a weird pattern of actually acknowledging other releases. So aren't they on 10 or 11 at this point? Because wouldn't they count like
You're just gonna call it 8.
What's the mobile game called?
World, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nintendo considers that a full-on game, and they technically also released that like not VR one, the AR one, the augmented reality one.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder because when they started numbering them, that came out of nowhere.
Sorry, it's Mario Kart Tour manual.
Oh, Tour? Yeah, it's not like we were calling them Mario Kart 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They just started at 7 for no good reason. So part of me is like, I really think they're at least gonna count Tour if they're gonna, if they're gonna like do it. So wouldn't that make it Mario Kart 10? Or just stop numbering them. Give them your name.
Well, it was Super Mario Kart 64, Super Circuit. Was it Super Circuit on Advance? DS, Double Dash. Wii. Which one am I missing? DS.
Got Wii.
Oh yeah, Wii, DS. So one of those didn't count apparently.
Yeah, and then it became 7 on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say Double Dash?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold up.
I'm
cutting it now.
Okay, let's get Super. 64,
Circuit,
Double Dash, Wii, DS. Okay,
7.
Okay.
And then 8.
Yeah. Okay, no.
Right?
I think I double counted one.
Because 7 was 3DS.
Yeah, I double counted one, I believe.
Okay. Well, Nintendo knows what they're doing apparently. But then again, I guess they didn't count the arcade one because the arcade one came out a long time ago. It came out I think there's been 2 arcade versions, but the first one came out definitely around the Wii-ish time. So it was before the numbering. So if they were going to include that, I guess that would have been like 8 on the DS or 3DS or some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I found a 3DS at ALA. I mentioned that last week, and one of the games in there was Mario Kart 7. I mean, actually, I think because I actually opened. I'm like, what? Because I'm like that kind of person. I'm like, what was this kid playing? Or I don't even know if it was a kid. It probably wasn't a kid. But I put the thing out, and it was Mario 3D World, and then in the thing was like, well, he had a ton of games, but like in like just floating loose, like he had just taken it out was Mario Kart 7. And I'm like, this guy got good taste. I hope he got it back. I wish there was a way for me to know, just for my own sanity. I'm like, did that dude ever go back to Lost and Found and find his DS, or is it like the property of like some random ALA staffer now?
If you were at Anime Los Angeles and lost a 3DS but recovered it by going to Lost and Found, please contact us at a2jconnections.com. That's contact at a-2-jconnections.com.
It's funny because like we get some spam email to some of the emails every so often, and I mentioned this to JD one time, but I feel like we don't teach people like proper internet safety things anymore. And every so often when there's an email, especially when it's like solicitation email, and by the way, when I say spam, I don't mean actual spam like traditional sense where just like, oh, give us money for this bullshit product, but like people giving us offers that are clearly scammy, but they seem kind of like real offers, like, oh, if you give us money, we'll help your SEO, or we'll edit your YouTube videos or shit like that. And
wait, they pay people to do that? I just do this for free.
Exactly. It's funny because like I'm like a friend of mine like, why don't you just like hit the unsubscribe button? Why don't you or even the email say like, kindly let me know and I'll stop emailing you. I'm like, never ever do that. like everything on the internet, the best way to get things to go away is to just turn your back and walk away. Because like in the case of emails, for those who don't know, if you ever click an unsubscribe list, all you did was tell whoever the fuck that was that your email works and you still use it this second. And you might be like, no, Manuel, it's against the law. The government passed the whatever the fuck law, and they can't do that anymore. They have to unsubscribe. Come on.
Sorry, man. I'm laughing at you for. Thank you, B.
We're in a situation where there's craziness, and this is literally the conversation we're having over and over again, as well as having conversations with whoever didn't understand that they effed around, found out, and now we are all paying the price for it. We're all paying that price for it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're all paying.
Be careful with what.
I said we're all paying the higher prices for it. Yeah.
Yeah, $10 eggs already.
Okay. So so Donkey Kong's redesigned for Mario Kart, whatever they're going to call it. Let's just say 9 for lack of a better term at the moment. I think some people are pointing out it looks closer to some. No, they haven't shown off anything else. We've seen announcements of other games. What was it? The next My Time At game was announced for the next Nintendo console. I think something else has been announced for it. I can't remember. It's going to be mostly backwards compatible, but the things it won't be seem to be because of accessory restrictions, because they changed the Joy-Con size as well.
Oh, this all just sounds like they just really want to make more money.
Yeah.
Well, like.
Yes, Byaku.
They're changing him for all the.
It's expensive. Leave me alone. Manuel isn't paying for anything. I pay for a lot of things anyway. I could have paid for my Switch though if it shows up. I'm gonna use all my Amazon credit. I hope to God it's on Amazon. But yeah, for those who don't know, Amazon and Nintendo have a rocky history though. It goes all the way back to the 3DS. When the 3DS first launched, the original day one 3DS, I think this always existed for that original model. When it closed, the top screen is bigger than the bottom screen, but the bottom screen had a raised bezel around it, and it would kind of rub against the top screen. Honestly, like I never had an issue with it, but some people did.
I did. I have a day one 3DS, and it has that problem on the.
He's got
where it like there's some marks right where the screens rub together.
Well, I always put a screen protector. Like I literally bought a screen protector with my 3DS, and if that was ever an issue, I probably didn't notice. I changed the screen protectors fairly often, or I did when I had that model. But because of that, a lot of people returned their 3DSs to Amazon, and Amazon got so upset that they for years they didn't carry any Nintendo stuff. I think until the Switch. Maybe I'm wrong exactly that timing, but it was for a long time. You could only get things like through third party or games. Games, of course, that's different. Those are usually through publishers, but you couldn't get Nintendo hardware or a lot of first party stuff sometimes. So
man, the richest man had a skill issue with a Nintendo company. Wow. Oh yeah, and also actually, he's got Amazon credits. Quick, buy 20 pallets of toilet paper. Does Byaku have
gastrointestinal problems?
No. I mean, this is clearly going to Manuel. Like, do they have access to your stuff?
No, leave my alone. Oh wait.
Yeah, man. Could you read off that comment for us, please?
No, I'm not gonna read it out loud. It's actually funny. I hate when YouTube videos include jokes about to do this, and Maya will do it. I'm like, oh my fucking God, that's so annoying. Don't do that ever in YouTube videos, please.
Do you know what? Do you know what I hate in relation to Nintendo and
what?
Excessive buying?
What?
I hate scalpers that make it so that the current the current set for the evolutions is unavailable.
Wait, which ones?
In TCG or?
Yeah, TCG.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
right now.
Did you see the news when a fight broke out at a Costco over the fucking cards or whatever the hell?
That was for the 151 set though, but yeah.
Yes. Okay. I don't think you know exactly what set it was, but yeah, I saw that news. It was 2-3 weeks ago. I forgot exactly when, but yeah, a fight broke out over the fucking cards, and I'm like, oh my God, guys, calm down.
Meanwhile, I'm moving here on the screen. That's just because my mic's by there. But meanwhile, the Prismatic Evolution, which is a newest set, this is the ones that are normally being carried at places like your local card store or Target. Now, it's the return of the grim ass looking scalper people who are both embarrassed by the fuck that they're trying to make a living off this shit, who show up at every Target in a line early on distribution day just so that they can go and rush in and grab all of these. It has gotten so crazy that certain boxes go for about $40 to $60 extra what they should be. And right now, whether as a result of it or not, the Umbreon EX full art is going for $1,700 at different locations. Some say $1,600.
I just want to know
Um,
who's paying that much.
Yeah, I don't
No,
understand
it's
card stuff, honestly. I mean, more
it,
power to you if you want to spend that money on cards. I just don't understand it.
no
Please buy
one
mine.
no one wants to spend the money on the cards. It's just going off of what's been printed, what's available at a given time. Because all these other cards are still going for like 500. Like they're pretty much making Charizard from like back at base sets start to worry. Like if we compare from release to what's down right there, it's kind of like this is a result of the scalping. The Pokemon Company is already like, yeah, we're gonna print more cards because we recognize that people are being terrible. Of course, this will not stop the people who are already still trying to get their hands on all that product to still get more product, but this is where we should lay down the line and just be like, yeah, we should probably not make an attempt to grab any prismatic evolutions from anywhere that's not a main distributor or even a local card shop that will not be selling them at the outrageous surpluses. This tends to be more like other hobby shops that the scalpers sometimes say that they also run, where they'll run it, try and, you know, sell it for a lot more. And I believe that all of them can die in a dumpster fire. I hope that all the eggs that they buy, due to the fact that Trump's administration has made it harder to keep track of bird flu, I have all of their
They
eggs
have
give
bird
them
flu.
bird flu, and that
Uh,
they
uh,
will also just... Oh, what was that?
Actually, that might be going a bit too far.
No, it's not going a bit too far. Scalpers, just like the presidency currently in the US, are the bane of everyone's existence and deserve to be like vomiting profusely and or needing to be sure that they're hydrated lest they have the most uncomfortable of ends coming out of their end. But like either way, yeah, just straight up the what's it called? I do not like the scalpers, not at all.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of snakes, honestly. And speaking of snakes,
Yeah.
Manuel,
What?
Lunar New Year tomorrow, Manuel.
It is. And
You're
I'm
the
excited
snake.
because I forgot that it was even coming up. Okay, I knew it was coming up. Not that stupid. But like, I've been so busy the past week. It's like things have been creeping up on me, and I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell did I just like let Lunar New Year like come all the way up like that? By the way, I'm one of those people because it's partly because I'm a China boo and partly for other reasons. I'm one of those people who still like will constantly say Chinese New Year, and I just want to reiterate my argument about why. Uh, are you waiting for Manuel to get controversial? Is that what everyone got silent for? No.
Yes.
So okay. There's two things. There's two reasons why. And first is like the kind of assholey reason. It's not that assholey. It's just the semantic reason. And the second one is the real reason. I think the first one is, did you guys know that's similar to when the Gregorian, is that the calendar we use? Is that what they still call it?
Yes.
Whatever the fuck calendar. Yeah, similar to when they modernized it and did the right math of like in the 1600s, whenever that was, and we jumped all those days to like fix it basically. A similar thing had to happen for the lunar calendar. Like they had to like recalibrate it and like fix all the days, which is also part of the reason why if you look at some like astrology things, the dates will always be kind of off, and some of that does have to do with moon cycles, but some of that has to do with depending on when that book was printed or when some things were printed. Things changed, like the dates of it changed. But when it got standardized, like I think in the 60s or something like that, it was by like several Chinese like mathematicians who like sat down and like fixed it. And the second reason why I still call it Chinese New Year is technically everything we celebrate is the Chinese part of Lunar New Year. Like nothing about it is like, and don't get me wrong, there's definitely a ton of other really great cultural celebrations like around the world, but especially in like Asia. But do we celebrate them? Do we even know of them? Like I remember I was asking Ward one time on like an old podcast we did. I think it was a Drink Talk Learn actually, about like their Lunar New Year celebrations. What but there I mean the Hmong. The Hmong. I should say that. Warren is of Hmong descent. Um and yeah, and it's like, yeah, of course they do, but we don't know about them. Like, whenever you think of Lunar New Year, you think of like, the tiger dancing and like you think of like mooncake and like those noodles and all the other shit like that. You know what I mean? You think of all that
The
stuff.
mooncake with like 5,000 calories, right?
Yes. So you think of all this stuff, and all that is predominantly like the Chinese celebration of
Manuel,
It's 5,000 calories.
you cut out after you said Chinese celebration.
Oh, so everything we think of is the Chinese celebration of Lunar New Year. So
Okay.
that's why I'm just like, Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. Like
Guys,
Lunar New Year is the date. We celebrate it in the Chinese way, whether you know it or not, basically. Or you don't. If you
guys,
don't, then let me know. Yes.
Okay, how does it have
you're
5,000
telling,
calories?
you're telling me that food makes you fat?
Yes.
5,000 calories. Is that insane? Snake egg.
In a
Oh
mooncake?
no, it's fucking dense. It's like just nothing but like fucking instant diabetes in there or something. Actually, no. How does it have 5,000 calories though? Doesn't make any sense. It's
For a little
magic.
mooncake?
Yeah, have you not had them? They're disgusting.
Yes. Maybe I haven't shotgun them
Wait.
one after another, but I'm
Oh,
just like
sorry. I thought you were just
5,000
insulting
calories.
Apparently it's
Manuel,
lard.
Yako. I thought you were just insulting Manuel.
Fat lard?
Yeah, just
No, it has.
go ahead. Yeah, I was going to explain it, but you do it.
Yeah, it's just made up a ton of lard, which is funny. It's like
I suddenly
when I
feel
was
better about pupusas.
when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my dad used to have like this giant tub of lard in the kitchen.
I do want to point out, don't stop doing that, Biako, because they taste good, but like, oh my goodness, I had no idea.
He used tons of lard, fat, sugar, and eggs. So yeah,
Eggs?
tons of. You know, I hope you're growing those yourself. I went to oh, so anyways, about the lard. I had a tub of lard in the kitchen, and I remember because my dad would use it to like for beans mainly. Like whenever
Yeah.
he refried the beans, he put a little bit of it in there. Anyways, he had lard, and when I was a kid, I thought it was butter. I put it on my toast. I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this butter?" And I didn't find out for like weeks.
Did you only do it one time
No,
at least?
no, okay, not like every day, but we're talking like a dozen times.
Like,
Eating lard on toast.
why would you not go check like the refrigerator for butter after that?
Okay, I should also back up because you might be like, how the fuck did you not notice? Can't you read? Okay, you guys don't know how Mexicans operate. That was it was in a fucking butter tin. Not tin, but it was in a
that
butter.
makes more sense now.
Yeah, I should have backed up and said that first. It was in a butter thing, a butter like you know when you. It's the meme when like the butter empties, you just put like random shit in there, like you use it as Tupperware. Well, my dad had put his because okay, they do sell tubs of lard. I should have said it was a butter tub, but like if you go to some, I think you only get this in Mexican markets, maybe not even anymore. You could buy lard, like buy like the pound or like in bulk, and they just put it like as if it's on like on a meat. I don't know if you've ever seen that. They'll just put on a thing and they'll put it in plastic and just give it to you. And I swear I'm not making any of this up. And I guess he put that in the butter thing. And I was all like, man, this butter's weird. And it wasn't until like I think like my mom or dad, I think my brother saw it, didn't say anything, maybe he didn't know. But like until my mom or dad saw me do it, it's like, why are you like why is the lard out? And it's like, oh, I'm putting it on my toast. It's like, wait, what do you mean lard? That's not butter.
I had this if I interject on here, I had like the biggest like discovery. It's not going into lard, but like if we're talking butter, I had like the biggest problem for a while because I thought for years I was eating butter.
What was it?
Turns out it was just the mantequilla was just simply a bunch of vegetable oil with like some like dairy product into it, but it turns out for the majority of my life, at least for a good 28 to 30 years, I have been going about not actually having butter on a lot of my stuff.
Would you believe it's not butter?
Have you actually had butter? It's funny you say that. Like, so
Really?
my mom a long time ago.
Apparently,
not a
my
long time
girlfriend
ago, I
said
should say.
I'm 75% of Americans who aren't awares.
Okay,
I'm in
so
there.
like last year, sometime around Christmas or so, not Valentine's. Not what the fuck is the food holiday? Thanksgiving.
Every holiday is a
There's
food
the holiday in America, Manuel.
So
Dude, we're just talking about mooncakes. When do you have your mooncake?
So apparently, my mom went to some like church thing where they were like baking cookies or something, or some sweet thing for Thanksgiving, and
Okay.
she brought home a bunch of eggs and butter. And like, mind you, this is before the egg prices went crazy. But she's like, "Oh, if you want eggs and butter, come get some because I have a ton of them." So of course I go over there because I'm like, I'm whatever. Anyways, it was real butter, and I still have a couple like sticks in my fridge, and I'm like, I I remember I went home and like, oh my god, I'm not joking with you. Unless somebody put it in something I never knew, I've never bought butter in my life, and I don't think I ever had butter growing up, like
Oh
ever
my
in my
gosh, we
life.
can relate here.
Okay,
Yeah,
then what
this
did
was
you have?
like margarine or whatever, like
Mantequilla.
the which isn't even like some things aren't even margarine. Some things are just spread, you know,
Yeah.
like legally they call it spread or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So you
Um,
didn't have like sticks of butter growing up.
no,
No. No.
no,
We didn't have sticks of butter.
yeah.
Okay,
So
this is
like,
just completely alien to me to think of.
so yeah, when I made my
Oh my
turkey for
gosh. My
Thanksgiving,
girlfriend
I
made a good
basted it
point.
with real butter. I put butter in the cookies I made. I put butter on my toast. I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
my
this is
my girlfriend My girlfriend made a really good point as you continue to slap butter all over that. Yeah, it turns out that, and I'm pretty sure this was my parents' mentality also. Not to say that it's negative or anything like that. It's just simply that it was a cost-effective thing, so it made more sense to buy the tub of butter than necessarily the sticks of butter, which were like actual butter versus whatever we were buying and putting on everything from even cookies. You were putting butter on your cookies, or you were using the
I
mantequilla to
used
cook
it.
your cookies?
No, well, first of all, I was using that back in the day, but like the butter I said recently, I made sugar cookies for like around Christmas time, and I used the
Yeah.
actual sticks of butter. And I'm like, oh, I remember specifically
Oh my
when I was in high school, I was in this home economics class, and
it just
I remember the teacher told everyone, oh, on Friday we're making no, we're making butter cookies. Everyone has to bring butter, and only one kid actually brought butter. This unlocked a memory that I actually locked away for years, and she was so mad at all of us and
unlocked a
did not let
memory.
us make the recipe or whatever the fuck. We all had to sit there while the one kid and her group, because we were like in groups, that one kid and her group got to make the cookies, and we just sat there like reading or whatever.
I think this is probably why my baking sucked for like a good while.
Yeah, that
Now that
definitely
I
needs
think
real
about it.
butter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Wow.
never really had butter cookies. Like I've had them when I was younger, like whatever the fuck. I hardly ever eat them, but I imagine if it's a recipe relying on that, yeah. For the record, are you saying, Bianco, that my butter should be moldy? I mean, it's fine. I saw it
Your butter
this
should be
morning.
moldy? Your
I mean,
butter should not be moldy.
how long does butter last? It's only been like 2-3 months.
Mexican wedding cookies or something? What is he talking
I
about?
mean,
I can't tell the difference between
buy
butter
the
and
blue tin,
margarine.
buy the blue tin cookies.
Okay,
What is
Manuel,
happening?
according to
Rich and
Google,
creamy.
in the refrigerator,
I appreciate
Yes.
your pity. You had a handicap this whole time.
well wrapped salted butter can last up to 5 months in the refrigerator
Yeah, yeah.
without spoiling.
I was gonna say like I have okay. Obviously, I'm not like ridiculous, and like if I pulled out the butter and it was like suddenly not like school bus, well, it was not school bus yellow to begin with. But if it wasn't yellow and if it smelled funny, then I wouldn't use it. But yeah, it still said like okay. When I say my mom gave me a ton of sticks, which by the way, I don't know what the hell they were doing at that church that she was able to take home. Like, 30 sticks of like real butter. Okay, it was one tub, like a little tub. It was one
Mhm.
full tub and like 30 sticks of butter. And I'm like, and then like a lot of eggs, which were not in a carton, by the way. She just had them. I'm like, what were you guys doing that you had this much extra leftover eggs and butter? And she just took it.
If she did that in now time, she clearly would have not been able to make it or have had extra.
She would have run the gauntlet just to get out of that church.
Exactly. And was like, those are my eggs. But yeah, I was so excited. I had eggs, I had butter. I still have butter. Like I said, the eggs are long. The eggs would have gone bad. Okay, I want to clarify. I did eat those eggs then. I did not keep the eggs for like the 3 months it's been almost. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not
So
that
yes, assuming
ridiculous.
that butter is salted, you're fine.
Yeah, and it's been barely 2 months I think now because this was like like I said, it was on Thanksgiving. It was like a week before Thanksgiving. Anyway, yeah, everyone, what was this butter talk? Oh man. So, anyways, what did I miss about about Richie having a handicap about what?
I
Oh, it's
think
about like the way that we've been cooking. We've been doing it improperly and having to
Oh,
overcompensate with not butter. But now that we actually do have access to butter, which we've always had, we were just financially strapped from. You see, this is why a bunch of people are still not going to know the difference. The inflation that's going on is going to be even worse with what's going down. It's
I was
just it's going to
curious.
be more stale than my comedy to conservatives.
Yeah, I was curious. I was curious, and about 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, "How much does butter cost?" And obviously, prices fluctuate between brands and all that kind of nonsense. But the cheapest butter, and I think it was like still store brand butter, I saw at like the Kroger, I mean, the Food for Less I was at, was like
R.I.P.
$4,
Kroger.
and the cheapest margarine or spread or even like whatever the fuck those were was like under $1. So I'm just like, we're talking like 4 times price difference if you want to get actual butter. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, do I really care? Like, is my palate that advanced? It really isn't.
You can't go back. You
To be
don't
fair,
lie
I
to
don't.
yourself. After
I
you learn the
barely.
truth, you can't go back.
I barely use. That's what I'm thinking now. I'm not gonna lie. Like now, I kind of do know the difference, and it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna be so sad when this butter runs out. Like, go call my mom. It's like, go hang out with those old ladies at church again. Go steal their butter. Like, I imagine that these old people like have like, because they
I want,
do it in the church, and there's a fridge there. I'm like, go in that fridge, see if there's still butter.
I
Like,
want to point
steal
out
from the
that
church.
I'll point out that in scripture, if you are stealing, but if it's for your survival, like food, it is totally pro bono.
I need the butter to
Okay.
live.
Josh, that's not what pro bono means, but okay. Pro bono means you're doing something for the public good, so you're doing it for free.
It is
Like
a
when
public good. I am stealing.
I mean,
to
it's
the
like
public.
when a lawyer works for free on a case. That you're using the phrase correctly. Yes, it's a good. It's not a bad thing, but it's not pro bono.
Is it not
Okay,
for
if this is
Bono
for the
from
sake of lawyers to still do good things, like assist with judges and blocking terrible legislation, then I will stand down. I do agree. Then
Yeah.
I will take it back. I'm just simply saying that Jesus says it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Tampico? Is that a city? Oh no, Tampico's like orange juice. What the
Yeah,
fuck is
see, that's
that?
a juice manual.
I've never had that.
Okay, so I think we're done with Lunar New Year.
No, we were just getting started.
Yeah, we were just
okay?
getting started. Then we got sidetracked by butter.
Like,
I keep getting all my. You know how this is a real story, by the way. I'm not making this up. You know how I honestly like get reminded how it's New Year every time. Obviously, you know because of the calendar. But you know how I know what day it is usually?
Bottle that you drink manual.
I get the fucking Shenyun fucking emails all the time, and they always point it out.
guys,
What?
real quick. I noticed that we also have Coca-Cola Orange Cream. And right as we transition out of talking about religion, do you want to know where like the sundae came from?
Sunday.
Yeah, the sundae. Do you know where the sundae came from?
You mean the ice cream sundae?
Yeah, do you know where?
Yes,
where
because they would drink floats the other days. They couldn't have caffeine, so they just had ice cream on Sundays.
They couldn't have ice cream on Sundays?
No, they couldn't have caffeine.
Oh, caffeine.
Yeah, no. Apparently, it was seen that cream soda and floats, as you're saying, were the devil because soda was the devil. Okay, so they straight up the what's it called? The ice cream place would have. Well, it was a malt shop, so they would have the cream sodas and all that. So they finally decide, hey, on Sunday we still have all this ice cream. We can't just let it go melt. So we're gonna sell ice cream on its own. If soda is the devil, there will not be any cream soda. It will just be ice cream.
Oh, for the record, I remember like when I was watching some fucking long ass like video essay on like Mormonism and whatever, and mind you, it wasn't like a negative one. It was just talking about Mormonism, and it mentioned that I forgot what the term is. Like apparently it is in the Bible, something about like heavy drinks, and most people, I forget the exact term. It's something like that. Don't quote me on the heavy drink part. But most people today, and even back then, I think, consider that just to mean alcohol. But apparently, it's been interpreted many a times as like any kind of soft drink, like like soda, like or even coffee, or like it's like what the fuck? It's like since when is soda evil? Like I'm going to fucking hell.
The Book of Mormon is weird. The Book of Mormon is really weird.
It's a great musical.
Yes, it is a
It's
great
also
musical.
probably the inspiration for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run, in which it will occur in the 1980s with a horse race and the corpse parts of Jesus Christ. Which, if you have read the Book of Mormon and you're still confused as to why Jesus even ended up in North America, somehow I believe Iraqi was like on the best shit or drugs ever. I bet he took the Book of Mormon. He's like, okay, hold my beer. I'm gonna make the greatest anime of all time, and we're
He's
gonna
not
get it
kidding.
after an announcement in April.
Like about the at least the plot of Steel Ball Run.
The plot of Steel Ball Run, I feel, is heavily influenced by the Book of Mormon. So,
Well, okay,
the
so
Lord
it's funny.
taketh your soda or caffeine, and he giveth you dinosaurs in the Midwest with a president who has the power to access the back rooms.
How are we getting all these viewers and we're just talking about like the most random shit ever? Also, I want to point out that it's actually funny that Josh mentions how JoJo might have ripped off of the Book of Mormon. Apparently, that's a real thing. Google it and look it up because apparently it is. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't want to get too far into this because this is a whole can of worms. But a couple weeks ago, Rose and I were talking. I think Rose is in the chat right now. Rose and I were talking about something about fantasy authors. And it came up like, oh, a lot of fantasy authors are Mormon. Because I think first we were talking about Brandon Sanderson or something like that, and we went like mad off the deep end. And then it's like Orson Scott Card is Mormon, and a bunch of others. Stephanie Meyer is Mormon, I think.
Yes.
And like a handful of others that are notable, but whatever. And fun fact, if you Google that right now, if you Google like why are so many authors Mormon or Mormon fantasy authors or whatever, most of the first hits will be from the LDS, like or not LDS, but whatever the church is called.
Yeah, Little Church of
like
Latter-day Saints.
yes, it's from the church, like actually like saying it themselves and being like, yes, we're proud to have all these authors, which I guess is fine. But most of it is them confirming it themselves. So I'm not making this up. But
Hey,
thanks to that, there have been a lot of claims. Like apparently the church was mad at Orson Scott Card, and I also found this during that same search, because I forgot which series, not Ender's Game, one of his other series. They're like, bro, you totally ripped off like the Mormon, like the Book of Mormon. This is the Book of Mormon sci-fi, which I guess the Book of Mormon is too, I think. But anyway, but
I
like
think
more
you're
sci-fi.
confusing that with Scientology manual.
Oh, isn't there also like space stuff in like galaxies and whatever?
no,
I think you're thinking of
not in the Book of
Scientology.
Mormon.
Or isn't that when you die, everyone gets their own planet or whatever the fuck? That's not Scientology, right? Is that Scientology? I don't know.
No, that's
I don't
also
know
not
Mormonism.
Scientology necessarily.
I
But
wouldn't mind making guys. I have my own.
Yeah. I don't know enough about Mormonism to say you're wrong, but some of it sounds like you're mixing it up with Scientology, especially with the sci-fi bits.
I do think the planet's right because I think part of it's supposed to be like when you die, you become like almost like a god, if I'm not, which is why only so many people were chosen. I know this all sounds Jehovah's Witnessy too, but like a lot of these religions kind of begat from each. It's a whole study for another day. But anyways, but Orson Scott Card is not the only one who's done that. Apparently, a lot of other fantasy authors have like incorporated it. I think Brandon Sanderson has been like once again, this is a rabbit hole. You can go.
Yeah, I spelled it out for you when we were talking about this manual. You mentioned it to me. Like, yeah, he definitely took some inspiration from the history of Mormonism in at least one of his works, which involves the true history of the world, like in convertible by Ian and the Gods, being written on metal tablets, is clearly lifted directly from Mormonism.
From the Book of Mormon, yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta love
Also,
our friend Brigham Young.
Who wrote Ender's Game?
Orson Scott Card.
Orson Scott Card.
He can get a dick.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's an asshole, and it's funny
Dick
because
7 ways to Sunday.
yeah, he's a horrible fucking monster. Don't get me wrong. It's funny because like I didn't know this until until I was like, this is like last week. This is several years ago, but I didn't know it until somebody mentioned it, and I was looking it up. He basically was, because obviously there was no social media back then, so maybe he would have been as vocal. He is basically J.K. Rowling before J.K. Rowling.
I will agree.
Like he was on that kind of shit in the 90s, like before it was. I guess it was still trendy then, but you know what I mean. He was on that kind of bullshit. And like I said, if Twitter existed back then, I'm sure he would have just been J.K. Rowling, in the 90s.
Okay, so do we have anything to say about Lunar New Year?
Oh yeah.
Oh damn, we actually got sidetracked hard. Dang.
I have the day off, and I'm gonna China max out like my homie Jeff likes to say all the time. He's like, oh, me like manual China maxing over here.
Dude,
He's
he's
Chinese, by the way.
drinking out of a dragon right now, or at least as of like 5 or 6 hours ago.
Was he really?
Yeah, it's Year of the Dragon. He literally popped off and was like, check it out.
Okay, it's the end of the Year of the Dragon. We're starting the Year of the Snake, as we've said multiple times at this point.
Yeah. Wait,
year
so
what?
isn't that today? Oh shit, today should be. Ah, god damn it, I'm behind.
What's
I need
the
to get
year
drunk.
No, I thought it was tomorrow that was the start of the.
No, but tonight's like when you. Ah, shit.
Yeah.
I'm fucking up.
2024 into 2025 was Year of the Dragon. 2025 into 2026 is the Year of the Snake. I know this because my mother would have been 60, and she's a dragon, and it repeats every 12 years.
What am I? Am I a monkey? What's 80? Well, I'm not gonna tell you my year. I'm not gonna review. I'm like
Manuel. We know you predate the system already.
What if 86 is animal? Zodiac animal. Zodiac. I can't spell.
Is that your actual carbon date, or are you just like
tiger.
what's it called? You're just like humoring us.
That's just the year he's chosen to pick as his birth year, because we all know that Manuel predates time itself.
Yeah,
it says tiger.
It's like Twilight, like it's like the call-ins, like every so often they disappear and reinvent themselves. Yeah, that's just the year I picked for this cycle right now.
You know the Twilight Zone has a tragic scenario.
What? The Twilight Zone?
I mean, which episode?
All the Twilight Zones do.
The Twilight Zone had a movie that was going to be produced by Steven Spielberg. So I want to highlight produced, not directed.
Yeah, we actually went into. He did direct one of the segments. We actually went into We went into that for some reason on a podcast one time. I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking about. I think I was talking shit about John Landis.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, John Landis deserves all the horrible things to come.
Okay, John Landis apparently is a terrible person in general. Like he's one of those people who just needs to get called out one day. Apparently, if you don't know, Google it, look it up yourself. I'm not going to say anything, but I will say that I've heard things over the years as well.
Dude,
he's just one of those Hollywood people.
When there was a horrible
him and his son are terrible.
Yeah,
but basically he some kids died in that movie, and it's terrible. And I don't mean that like to belittle it. That movie's crazy though. We watched it at a con one time, and the segment. First of all, that movie's pretty bad all around. It's just not a very good movie. But the segment that John Landis directed, and the one where the children died, was about this racist guy who becomes unracist.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it is so hard to watch that racist part because it's just like, oh my god, it's like I get that what they're going for, that they're trying to make it like this guy a racist, but like. I don't know how to phrase this properly. Like, it doesn't feel like you're watching kind of like a movie where they're like, they're acting. It just like it feels like they just found someone's like, oh, I get.
Manuel, you got cut out right there.
You got cut up. Manuel, you got cut up.
You either muted yourself or you cut off like your connection.
No. Manuel.
Okay.
Back?
Yes, you're back. Cool.
He's back.
I was playing with like unplugging to the cord. I think I just unplugged it. Anyway, so what I was trying to say was, it felt like watching that movie. It's like, it's not like when you have people that are like, oh, I'm an actor and this is just what the scene involves, blah blah blah. It honestly felt like some of these people were just like, oh man, I get to say that on a movie, and no one's gonna cancel. Well, cancel didn't really exist, but we know what I mean. And no one's gonna care. Fuck yeah.
When you say it like that, it's like he got done in harder by God, the same way that God got mad that one kid sold the Death Note to Donald Trump.
I actually forgot he died. Okay, I remember the kid died, but I forgot Vic Morrow died too. That was the actor who played the racist guy. I forgot he died as well.
Yeah, no, it's just that since you say it that way, because it's like, here I am, I can say whatever I want, and then there's that kid who was like, I'm gonna be filthy rich, and then God in both of those continuities was like, no.
Mm-hmm. I will say this, for those who have never seen the Twilight Zone movie, that opening scene, and I will admit it's a little less effective now, but that's actually why we watched at the con. That opening scene used to scare the living shit out of me. It ruined my life. And if you've never seen it, it's Dan Aykroyd and some other actor driving. They're driving down the street and they're talking about like first of all they're just shooting the shit, talking like singing songs, and then they start talking about Twilight Zone episodes. And then Dan
Meta.
Aykroyd's like, he's all like, "Hey, you want to see something really scary?" And it's like, "Yeah, whatever." It's like, "Hold on," and he just goes like this. And then when he comes back around, he's a fucking like evil witch woman, and that scared the shit out of me. Like you will watch it now. I think it's free on Tubi and like free on YouTube, like legally. And I don't know if it still hits the same way, but that scared the living
No.
shit out of me as a kid. It
Well,
like
you don't
destroyed my
you
life.
don't see it coming. It's like the same way like the one little girl in that like city episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's like you're not
Oh,
expecting to just get that kind of thing. It's not necessarily like even a jump scare really. I mean, yeah, it was. It was a jump scare, but like it's the simple turn and you're just like not anticipating it. And it just like boom, it's in your face and you're like, "What?" I think he got cut off. Manuel, I think you're cut off again. Oh shoot!
Yeah,
he's
man, you're cut off again. So yeah, scary things from childhood. Mine would be. You ever play Majora's
God.
Mask, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah, you know them on the Ramoni Ranch.
oh,
That I haven't played it in a while, but that still turned my stomach the last time I played it. Like I get physically sick trying to play that mission, and I still beat it.
Mission accomplished, Miyamoto.
yes. I don't know. This is a lot of scary shit for my. I mean, like a lot of scary things I saw. Like I remember like the fucking Tales from the Crypt theme from the TV show used to scare me, which is funny because it's a Danny Elfman theme, and you hear it now, and it just sounds so like happy, like almost you'd put it on a fucking parade float or something. It's like, and I'm just like, why did that scare me? I was a fucking little. I was a little
Maybe it's a
bitch.
Pavlovian response to what goes on in Tales of the Crypt.
That is true. I fucking love Twilight Zone because Twilight Zone, I talk about in the GAV panel, and JD would know this. Yeah,
Why
thank
do
you.
you talk about
So
Twilight Zone in that panel?
So JD would know this if he went to that panel, but obviously he didn't know this. So, uh, flashback to the pandemic, like 2020. This is back when, like, I don't know if you remember this, but like those first couple weeks of the lockdown,
I'm
all
scared
of the
already.
streaming services were like free, right? They were all free for like
They were
a month.
free?
Yeah. Like, do you not remember
I don't remember that
Like,
part.
I don't remember this.
I don't
maybe you
remember
didn't
that
take
part.
advantage of them, but like I remember Paramount Plus. Okay, well, several of them were free. Like I got Shudder for like a few months, and Paramount Plus was free for a few months as well. Like you had to sign up, but they were free. Um,
Yeah, I must have
and
been too like horribly worried for my life at that
that is
particular
true.
point in time.
I had already
So,
subscribed.
so yes, Twilight Zone JV. So I'm sitting there with my Paramount Plus subscription, and I'm watching like just because it's like, what else are you gonna do? I'm marathoning the original Twilight Zone series. And it gets to a certain episode, and I think the episode, funny enough, is called A Certain Kind of Stopwatch, and maybe you already
Okay.
know where I'm going with this. But in the episode, this dude has a magic stopwatch that when he turns it on, it stops time,
Yeah.
and then when he sets
Okay.
it, time goes back. The Simpsons have parodied this episode too.
Yeah.
And but in obviously the whole Twilight Zone aspect of it is he breaks the stopwatch when it's frozen, and that's the whole thing. But anyways, I'm watching the episode, and I'm just like enamored. And I've seen it before, but it never clicked in my brain. I was like, wait a minute. And I get my phone and I message Snacks, one of the guys I do the JV panel with. I message Snacks. I'm like, Snacks. I found the first JAV plot ever in TV, and it was from the Twilight Zone. Because if you've never seen JAV, it's a very common trope in JAV where you have the magic stopwatch. Okay, some JV have changed it to other items. Like I actually talk about it. Like it's funny, the stopwatch is so overused in JV that nowadays it's more clever if you have like a magic like whistle or a magic. One episode, like the Hitomi Tanaka video, which yes, she has. Every JV actress has one of these videos. The Hitomi Tanaka one, it's a magic. Like I don't know if you've ever seen those things. It's like a plastic stick that has a ball that when you press it, it spins. Like it lights up and spins.
Yeah.
I have no idea what those are actually called, but like that was the magic stopwatch thing. It was a ball that spins. Or
Okay, but I just want to know, why would you want stop time in that kind of work? Would you not want to see the partner's reaction?
I don't know. It's a okay. We're not gonna get into some weird fetishes here. That especially
Yeah, this is the wrong podcast for that.
You already opened you opened the
box of
floodgate
worms.
there, since technically
The
the
there's a
Twilight
whole
Zone.
there's a whole world of like of that, like not seeing the partner's reactions. Let's leave it at that, like in JV. But yeah, the stopwatch is just one of the wackier ones. It's right up there with like the Magic Mirror one. And Magic Mirror is not really like a thing; it's just more of a plot device. But yeah, there's a lot of time stop thingies, and I include that in the fucking JV panel. Like, there's a whole segment where I'm like, guys,
Rich and
J-
Creamy's losing it. The whole genre from this.
yes. Like, and it's funny because so I actually went. It was the pandemic. So I had all this time in the world. I went into a deep dive on it, and Rod Serling wrote that episode himself. By the way, it was one of the one he wrote several of them, but it was one of his. And the I forgot where I was looking it up. It wasn't Wikipedia. It might have been IMDb. I don't know. But like, they even acknowledged in whatever the fuck I was looking up that a lot of adult videos use it as well, because it was basically talking about like all the movies that have taken the elements, The Simpsons, and then it mentioned like adult movies. And I'm like, they know what's up. So I'm not the first one who's made this connection. So we all, if you're a fan of Time Stop, JV, which also I think. Okay, don't ask why I know this. Just don't. Uh, there's a new series of movies on the Western side, that also is a Time Stop series, and so yeah, it's not just for JAV anymore.
I was about to say, I mean, JoJo's literally has a world, though. You know.
Yeah. So this is a whole thing. So yeah, if you're a fan of Time Stop movies, material, if you will, you have Rod Serling to thank for that. So next time you're watching one and you're having a good time and you finish, be like, "Thank you, Mrs. C."
Okay. We got sidetracked for the third time.
Oh,
So is there anything else you want to say about New Year, or do we want to move on to one last topic before wrapping up?
I feel like I should get fucking like wasted after this show because I fucked up.
At this point, I thought you already were, Manuel.
I'm over here talking about thanking Rod Serling after you.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode to edit, so I may start charging you, Manuel.
Better leave that in. Rod Serling fans must know. That's
okay. So, any last things you want to talk about before wrapping up?
Yeah. Did everyone have fun getting an AX hotel today? An AX hotel, so I can't talk today. I actually, no joke, one of the reasons the show kind of like got away from me, as in Ultra Podcast Z got away from me today, is because I originally I had work today, but I decided to like take a few hours off, and it turned out to just take the whole day off because I worked myself into a fucking frenzy about the fucking AX hotels. Like, I don't know why, but like I felt like I was like seconds away from like a nervous breakdown. I was nauseous. I did not feel good. I like when I was filling out the hotel information, I was shaking, and I'm like, okay, Manuel, you need to take a fucking nap and rest. After I get the hotel, I'm like, it is a convention, it is a hotel. You don't need to stress this much. By the way, I was one of the lucky ones. I got the JW, so I will be partying in style at AX. Um, and it was not worth the stress because it was actually very painless for me. Like, I was able just to get in there. I had the pick of the litter of as far as hotels went, and I got a nice one. And because of the new queue system, I don't think there was even that fear of like if you well, obviously if it takes too long, that's different. But there wasn't the fear that like if I just fill out my info normally, I will lose the hotel because that wasn't the case.
Oh, that's
I was
good.
able to, yeah, but that was the part I was panicking on because I had switched switched servers. I had switched browsers recently because Google Chrome finally decided to be like, oh, we're not letting you use your ad blockers. Like, I think they're rolling that out for like everyone soon, but like they're kind of picking and choosing who they like get mad at first. Um, and so yeah, all my ad blockers stopped working for all my shit basically. And so I moved to Firefox, and I forgot that because I moved to Firefox, all my autofill stuff for that kind of thing was gone. So I had to type in all the information for the hotel like a fucking hobo, and I was just like, "Oh my god, Manuel, please Like I'm shaking. I think the hotel's gonna disappear. I'm like, man,
No, that was a very real thing. My hotel disappeared during ALA's
yeah.
thing, and I was like, son of a gun.
So, but AX did have a queue system this year. Like I said, like when you first of all, some of my friends when they got their badge, like some of my roommates, they had when they got into the queue, and they've been waiting for like an hour, I think. When they got into the queue, they were like number 5,000 or some shit. And I heard one of them said that last year they were like 20,000. And mind you, I'm sure a lot of those are bots or just people in there twice. But I'm just like, that's
Who's
a lot of tickets AX sells that first day.
who's botting up AX? That's really weird.
I think because some people, I think people buy some of these badges on the cheap so they can sell them because AX 99% of the time will sell out. Like, um,
Yeah,
and
but I
obviously,
mean,
if
this isn't like D23. It's a very weird return on investment.
it is, and I don't understand it either, but if there's money to be made, people will either make it or try to make it.
Mhm.
Um, I was surprised most people didn't bought the hotels. Or maybe they did because I saw somebody on. First of all, apparently, I don't want to let anyone know the secret of how I got it, but I got the link early. Mind you, it didn't work. I was still in the queue, but I had the link already, and I was early in the queue. Um, but later on, apparently, that that website didn't update. I mean, that link didn't update on the website until like 4 minutes after it was supposed to.
Mhm.
So you were pretty much fucked. Like, if you waited the official way. And I saw somebody on Twitter saying that when they went into the queue, they were like 16,000 or some bullshit. So there's probably a lot of bots for the hotels too. I don't know. I got my hotel. That's all that cares. That's all I care about.
All right.
I
Good
hope everyone
shit.
else gets theirs too. I'm not trying to like say like, oh, I hope you don't. I'm just saying I got mine. I almost gave myself an ulcer for it, so I hope everyone else is fine.
I
But
hope
yeah,
so too. An ulcer over that seems a little cray cray, especially when you've like been there before a lot.
dude, I don't even go to the con.
Yeah,
I
I'm
I'm
still
stressed.
shocked that Manuel books a hotel room. I guess he doesn't buy a badge, but he spends all the money to book a hotel room and he doesn't go to the con.
You got to party and stuff. It was funny because I was trying to convince a friend of mine to go. Was I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, hey, you gonna go to AX and like party with us? And she was all like, no, I don't go to AX anymore. And I'm like, what? You have to. Everyone's gonna be there. And she's like, yeah, that's the problem. And it didn't dawn on me that she was right. Like the thing that I consider the bonus, the reason I want to go to it is because like everyone I know is there basically. Like all the local weebs, all the far away weebs, like everyone comes to this. And like every so often, each year I get one or two really far away weebs. Like somebody like, I either never seen in person or haven't seen a person in years who live like on the other side of the country.
Oh yeah,
They'll
like
come to
Eric.
AX. Yeah, they'll come to AX. Um so yeah, and I guess that can be a bad thing too, because it does get really crazy and packed, and it is intense, and yeah, the city's kind of untenable for like several days. That is the problem. AX is the worst. I love AX. Okay, I have a love hate relationship with AX. The things I hate have nothing to do with like the parts I love, but yes, please give us
Uh,
press AX.
yes, please give us press. Okay, I think it's time to start wrapping up, Manuel.
Yeah, what do I have on my thing here? I think it's funny because I had like four like notes on my note thingies and we covered them all accidentally, but we covered them all.
That's good.
Yeah. Hopefully last thing on the Switch too, on April, I think in like April 2nd or something like that.
Yeah, that's when they're having their direct.
They're probably gonna reveal all the games and all the other stuff and like, the actual pricing. So hopefully, like everyone keep an eye out for that. I like how it's April 2nd. I'm sure that's a Saturday or something, but like they almost will be like, oh, we can't put it on April 1st, for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
But yeah. But
I mean, I
also
think they announced the original Mario and Sonic at the Olympics on April 1st. It's just the start of the business here. I assume they're doing official business stuff then.
remember when
April 2nd is
Mario
a Wednesday,
Sonic-
Manuel.
Fuck. Why announce it on a Wednesday? That's so un-Nintendo. For those who don't know, Nintendo's actually, even though Tuesdays traditionally is like the day to release everything, Nintendo likes to do Thursdays because they're like wacky like that.
Mhm.
So I just find it weird. They didn't even pick Thursday. They picked Wednesday.
Mhm.
Like, who does? It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Clearly, Manuel,
Isn't
they're
it
going to surprise launch
Thursday
it on
for
the
them?
Thursday.
Is it what? Oh, it's Thursday
Isn't it-
for them. You are right. You actually are right. I think it is Thursday for them, as in them being Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, thank you for watching. I guess we're wrap it up there. This is a very wacky show. It's very lively, I guess. See, the good
Thank
thing
you
is
everybody
that,
for being here.
yeah, a lot of times when I do UPZ or like maybe Josh's as well, like I'm a little more tired, a little more like the end of the day. But because I almost killed myself getting an AX hotel, I took a nap. Yeah,
Manuel
took a nap
accidentally went to war when he was just booking a hotel online.
but I took a long nap. I like ate a little calm like late lunch. I took a shower. I like relaxed. I was just like so like and now when I was doing the show, I'm like, oh, I'm nice and rested. I'm rested. I'm full. I'm clean. You know, just like let's go. There you go.
Mhm.
Anyway, guys. But yeah, that's our show. Thank you for watching. What's coming up this week, JD?
We have A to J Adventures tomorrow. You're still playing through Final Fantasy VIII. As far as I know, you're still on.
The Senor, we're still playing 8. We'll be playing that, and then this Friday's Dream Talk Roll, right? Yeah, we have Dream
Yeah.
Talk Roll this Friday, and then Sunday is.
Hal and I don't know if we're going to be on Sunday.
Oh.
We both have family things coming up that day, so it's kind of iffy at the moment. We will keep you updated.
I need
we
to
might
watch
also-
the last episode.
Yeah, we might also be on a different day next week, just because it's the big game next week on
Is
Sunday.
it really? It's already
Yes,
Super Battle?
yes, it's already Super Battle time.
That's interesting. I didn't know. It always trips me up when that comes up. I miss not working at Party City because Party City would always keep me abreast of all the holidays, I guess. Like I would know when they all were coming up, but now I'm just like, it's all a surprise. I know
Mhm.
Super Bowl is not really a holiday, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Party City. Fun fact though, which I don't think gets mentioned at all. And a lot of Party Cities are franchise, which is a very weird thing to say, but they are. So apparently, and I looked into it, apparently the franchise ones are still staying around. And if you live where I live, there's still a couple franchises here, so technically Party City still exists. For now.
Over here too.
So yeah. So for now, there's still going to be some Party Cities. Not all of them are closing technically. I'm sure I would hate working at a franchise Party City right now because everyone's going to come in like, "Where's your sales? Why is everything not 30% off or 40% off?"
If you call ahead of time, they actually say on there is no going out of sales. What's it called? Specials. And
Okay, sorry, but real fast, I gotta tell you this. It used to fucking piss me off at Party City. We got rid of it. Like after a couple years, we got tired of updating it. But we would record that message. Like it was something we'd record ourselves. You'd be like, "Thank you for calling Party City. Our hours are this. We're open Thursday through this," and we would update it all the time. And we had all the questions there. And you know how many times people would ignore, and there was no way to skip it. You couldn't press 0 to skip it. You had to sit there and hear our hours. And then the phone rings for us. I pick it up. Thank you for calling Party City. Yeah, what time do you guys open? It never failed. It was just a fucking piss. And that's and some of you in retail might know this, especially like smaller retail. Like I'm sure if Walmart doesn't get that as often, but like a smaller retail where you know a person will probably answer the phone. That is like half of the phone calls. So like half of the fucking phone calls are people ignoring the message. And it got to the point where it's like, why record a new one? Why up? Because we have to update it for Christmas, for every time there's a holiday. Oh, we're closed on Thursday, November, whatever the fuck, Like why update it if no one's ever gonna listen to it? But yeah, that's my retail rant of 1,000. So yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
Josh. Before we close out, would you like to say anything?
Totally check me out at Photog Network on Instagram. Eventually, at some point in time, I'll be getting back onto the streaming. Not sure when, but for anybody who sticks around, thank you. I normally play Persona, and I'll see if maybe I'll play some more scare-related stuff. I think people like the reactions, but yeah, it's good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. You're basically just the co-host of this series now, so thank you.
Yeah, fun fact: I stopped using the with Fotaku starting this year. I'm like, why do I keep putting that? He's been like
Josh, you are officially co-host now. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. So I guess peace out. Thank you for watching. Shout out to Ed, our current patron, patreon.com/ADJConnecteds if you want to support us. If not, just keep watching, liking, subscribing, recommending to friends, and that's good enough. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.
Good night.